Dark Magic 96 here, and today we're going to talk about Black Butler. More specifically, the question, does Sebastian actually care about Ciel? For those of you that haven't seen the show or read the manga, fair warning, there will be spoilers ahead. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So what is Black Butler? Black Butler follows the story of Ciel Phantomhive and his demon butler, Sebastian Michaelis. It's a revenge story. Ciel made a contract with Sebastian, and in exchange for that contract, Sebastian gets to eat Ciel's soul once his wish of revenge is complete. There are 3 stipulations to their contract. 1. Sebastian must always be honest to Ciel and never lie to him. 2. He can only do what is ordered of him, so he has to follow Ciel's orders to the very end. He can never disobey him. And 3, Sebastian must do all in his power to protect and keep Ciel alive until he can kill or get revenge on the people who murdered his family. So that's basically the premise of the show. The question I'm looking into today is, does Sebastian actually care about Ciel, or does he just see him as lunch? Now, we're going to go first with doing a bunch of pros and cons for the argument. I'll start off with cons first. Number 1, Sebastian is a demon. Regardless of how you want to look at it, he is a demon, and his end goal with Ciel is to eat his soul. Now, even in the show and in the manga, demons are portrayed as vile, despicable creatures that have no character whatsoever. They feel no remorse. They feel no emotions. All that. They're just these monsters, which is pretty standard definition of a demon if you go to pretty much any other form of media. Now, that's pretty big into it, and in the show there are plenty of instances where Sebastian is not the most considerate. There are multiple times where he's seen manipulating and using people to get information out of them, specifically women. When he was interviewing Beast in Book of Circus, he played on her vulnerability just so he could get information out of her about the people that were stealing children. Now, there's other instances, too, where he's just vicious. He attacks. In Book of the Atlantic, you see this vile scene where he just goes on a frenzy. And when he was first released on the devil worshippers, he killed them with joy and amusement, with a smile on his face. All things that are very demon-esque. So that's the first contention as to why Sebastian might not really care about Ciel at all. He's all just doing it so he can get his food at the end. Contention number 2. Sebastian finds Ciel incredibly annoying. And who wouldn't? Look at him. Ciel is a 13-year-old spoiled brat who can't even tie his own shoelaces without Sebastian being there. Even the own voice actor for Sebastian, J. Michael Tatum, love you, by the way, dude. Keep up the good work. He has gone on record saying that what is there to gain in any kind of relationship with Ciel? He's a helpless little kid that doesn't know how to do anything for himself. To be fair, those are all pretty poor qualities in a relationship. Now, it also goes on record that Sebastian does his fair share to annoy Ciel too. It's kind of the charm to their relationship. They're always trying to make idiots out of the other one and subject each of them to their own type of humiliation and torture. It's very amusing for us, but kind of shows how much they annoy the heck out of each other. Contention number 3. Sebastian has tried to eat Ciel on numerous occasions. So this kind of goes to the fact that in the end he's a demon and he wants to eat Ciel's soul. But there have been at least 2 incidences that I can think of where Sebastian tried to eat Ciel's soul a little bit earlier because he thought either Ciel was trying to get out of the contract or that he was unfit to fulfill his portion of it. Now, the first time that we see him trying to actually eat Ciel's soul comes after Ciel is finally recognized by the queen and he proclaims all of his rights, basically, to own land. Sebastian makes a very good point, and he's trying to convince Ciel to give up his hopes and break the contract so that Sebastian could eat his soul. He basically tells him, "My lord, you have the title to your land is safe and secure. You are now officially the Earl Phantom Hive, and your wedding relationship to the Lady Elizabeth." In this scene, Sebastian's just trying to coax him out of giving everything up so he can eat him. And when it seems like Ciel is about to say, "Yeah, you're right, I could definitely have the good life," he surprises Sebastian because he just stops and says, "But you know what? I won't. I'm gonna kill some bitches." Now, granted, he doesn't actually put it like that, but he essentially tells Sebastian, "Be my sword and be my shield, help me get my revenge." And even though Sebastian is an all-powerful demon, and he's been around for thousands of years, he's shocked by Ciel's response. And I think in that moment you kind of see a first glimpse of, or maybe Sebastian's first glimpse of respect for Ciel. Because he's been around, he's seen a lot of things, so to be able to surprise a demon is kind of an impressive feat. The second time he tries to eat Ciel, it takes place in the manga, it hasn't been animated yet. Basically, Ciel kind of goes into this post-traumatic stress state where he doesn't want anybody getting near him, not even Sebastian. He's lost his sight and he's freaking out and he can't seem to snap out of it. So Sebastian, in turn, is like, "Well, you're clearly not fit to go on living. You're not going to fulfill your contract, so I'm going to eat you." And so he starts to eat Ciel. And basically you just see his, demon form start to, engulf Ciel. And when he starts getting eaten, Ciel's just like, "Oh my god, what's happening? What? No, stop." And he regains his self and he just snaps out of it. And that's the second time that Sebastian tried to eat Ciel. Granted, it's up for debate on whether or not he was actually trying to eat him or if he was just trying to snap him out of that state because they had urgent matters to attend to. It's kind of addressed in the manga where it's like, Sebastian was like, "I was only 90% sure I was gonna kill you. Not 100%, just 90. Leave some room for breathing." So those are my 3 contentions and 3 evidences in opposition to why Sebastian can't possibly care for Ciel. He's a demon, he finds Ciel very annoying, and he's just a hungry dude who tried to eat him already. Seems like fair points. Now, to go on to evidence supporting the claim that Sebastian might possibly care for Ciel. Now, I'm not going to say it's straight up yaoi love. For those of you who don't know, yaoi is basically boy love. Although Black Butler was originally supposed to be a yaoi, it was dialed back and kind of changed into a more serious, well, not serious, but yeah, a more serious, darker story. That being said, however, there are plenty of trolling things that happen in the manga and in the TV show. For those of you who don't know the corset scene, I recommend checking it out. It really gives you a sense of the type of people who are writing the show and manga. Number 1. Sebastian seems to kind of go above and beyond of taking care of Ciel. Yes, he is a butler, and what kind of Phantom Hive butler can't protect his young master? But my point being is, while he is supposed to protect Ciel from anything that could harm or kill him, he also seems to protect Ciel in moments that could actually psychologically damage him. For instance, when they're in the Jack the Ripper arc with Madame Red, Sebastian shields Ciel's eyes from the mangled body of the prostitute that's in front of him. Now, Ciel wasn't in any immediate danger when he saw the prostitute. It was just a dead body on the floor. So why did Sebastian immediately run to go and shield his eyes? It wasn't actually protecting him from anything except trying to stop a little boy from seeing something gruesome and traumatic. That's a small thing, but there are other instances too where Sebastian tends to take a little bit more extra care of Ciel than is actually necessary. One of the first nights that Sebastian and Ciel are in each other's company, Ciel hasn't eaten in weeks, or hasn't eaten properly in weeks, and Sebastian made a food that he just couldn't eat. So Ciel's just like, I'm going to bed, just leave me alone, blah, 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 blah. But later, Sebastian comes in with some hot milk and some honey to give Ciel so that he can have something in his stomach before he goes to bed. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think anywhere in the contract in terms of services did it say, Sebastian, come and make me some tea with some honey in it, or milk with some honey in it. That was something, again, where Sebastian was kind of going above and beyond what was expected of the contract itself. In my opinion, if he really didn't care at all or anything like that, he would just let him be. He wouldn't put that extra effort in. If there was a murdered person on the floor, Sebastian would be like, do you want some popcorn, young lord? Or, oh, you didn't want to eat dinner? Alright, that's cool. Go to bed then. I won't make anything else. My opinion. But let's keep digging a little bit deeper. As I was stating before, in the first time he tried to eat Ciel, Sebastian seems to hold a kind of respect for Ciel. Now, why do I think that is? Well, Sebastian's been around for thousands of years. He's clearly eaten a bunch of other human souls before, and he's very, very knowledgeable on how humans are. And with Ciel, 1, knows that he's human. 2, he acknowledges how terrible humans are. And 3, he kind of embraces that he knows that's what he is. I mean, multiple times in the manga and the show, Ciel's like, I know what path I'm choosing. I know what I'm doing. I will sacrifice and use anybody I can in order to get what I want. And I think Sebastian just respects that. I mean, you can hate a dude, you can think he's an asshole, but there is a certain level of respect to an asshole who can openly admit, yeah, I'm using these people so I can get what I want. I know what I want, and that's how I'm gonna get it. Maybe it's not respectful to some, but to me, that's kind of a respect. It's acknowledging your flaws, basically. Alright, contention number 3. Now, the whole thing that made me think of this, it's kind of sparked this idea in me, was the quote that Sebastian said to Ciel at the end of the Book of the Atlantic. Basically, Sebastian had just fought off the Undertaker, turned out to be a Grim Reaper! Like, how awesome was that? But I digress. Sebastian finishes fighting off the Undertaker, and he's horribly wounded, and he finished fighting off all these zombies and everything like that, and Ciel sees how hurt Sebastian is. Now, it's pretty obvious to anybody that Ciel has feelings towards Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian is his caregiver. He takes care of him and makes sure that he's okay, protects him, all these other things. Sebastian is the only person that knows Ciel's true intentions, that knows all of his deep, dark secrets, and knows all the bad things about him. So it is pretty clear that Ciel cares about Sebastian. However, at the end of Book of the Atlantic, Ciel tells Sebastian, hey, you're really injured, you won't be able to perform as my butler, and that's okay, just get some rest when we get home. And the line that gets me, first sparked my thinking was Sebastian saying, careful, my lord, you might call a storm down upon us. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is there, some secret taboo that, prevents a demon from being able to care for a human, or is it just so preposterous that a vile beast could care about somebody to even be a thing? It was just like, well, what is it? But it was that quote that really got me thinking about stuff. Is it possible that Sebastian cares about Ciel, and he's starting to acknowledge that this is going to cause us a lot of trouble if I actually start to care about this human? And here's another thing, too. Sebastian has shown feelings. I know his demons, he can't feel anything. He's a demon. But if you look back at it, he constantly is laughing at things and making jokes. I mean, when Ciel is asked by Lady Elizabeth if he likes her, Sebastian literally bursts out laughing. And laughing is an emotion. There's also the fact that Sebastian is, without a doubt, a cat person. In multiple instances in both the manga and in the television show, we see Sebastian just going goo-goo eyes all over them cats, saying how precious they are, how plump their paws are. In Book of Circus, he actually goes and confronts a tiger just so he can pet it. I can sympathize with that. Tigers are my home piece. It was really awkward. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, he's showing affection and caring and love towards animals, which is kind of a big thing. And even in Book of Murder, it's found out that Sebastian saw poor kittens out in the rain and he took them in and he shielded them from the harsh weather. How is that coming from somebody that doesn't care about anything or is incapable of feeling anything? He's able to feel it for some cats. It kind of only makes sense that he should be able to feel it for a guy that he protects and takes care of on a daily basis. And then there's one more huge thing that it was so blatantly obvious, but I didn't really notice it or think about it until I watched Book of the Atlantic again for more like information on this video I was going to make. And that's when Sebastian gets stabbed through the middle of his body with the Undertaker's scythe, what happens? He has a cinematic record. And what does a cinematic record mean? It means he has a soul. The job of the Grim Reapers is to collect people's souls, i.e. their cinematic records, after they die and determine whether or not they can keep living or if it's their time. And Sebastian has a cinematic record. He has a soul. And to me, if he has a soul, that's just kind of implying that, yeah, he has some link to humans, or he has some similarity with humans. I mean, if you take a look at the Grim Reapers are people who killed themselves and as punishment for their sin are now being forced to spend their afterlife collecting the souls of the living. So they haven't explained in the show yet, or at least I didn't catch it, as to what the origin of demons are, but I would kind of expect there to be some kind of link to humans in some regard. And to me, if Sebastian is, he has a soul, he has shown signs of caring for other creatures, i.e. the cats, he makes jokes, he seems to go above and beyond in protecting Ciel, he has his admiration or respect for Ciel, I think it's very, very possible that on some level, Sebastian does actually care for Ciel more than just as a dinner time party, as you would say. As somebody would say. I don't know who says that. So, that pretty much sums up my opinions on the topic. I tried to cover everything as best as I could, but if I missed anything, or if you guys have your own thoughts and opinions, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to see more in-depth kind of discussions and analysis on Black Butler, or maybe even some other animes, just let me know, and I'll try and do some research and get a video posted. Like and subscribe for more videos. Yeah! Dark Magic out.